guess we can get started. So today we're going to start in fire log pose. So you're going to take one shin on top of the other basically. If this is at all uncomfortable for you, don't do it. But if it looks like this, that's okay. If you want to bring your legs out a little wider, sometimes they don't always level up. If you want to move your ankle over, you just might have a hovering knee. If you have a block, you can stick that under there. If not, if you're okay with the hovering knee, that's fine. We're just going to start. If your shins touch, also awesome. Mine don't, but it doesn't matter which leg is on top because we will switch. But for right now, just see if you can relax your legs. You can flex your foot to protect your ankle here if you're feeling at all weak in the ankles. And then check in with your spine. Go to the crown of your head. Imagine a string coming from the crown of your head, pulling you up. Release any tension in your neck or in your glutes. Pull that belly button towards the spine. Press into the mat with both sit bones. And just lower your gaze or close your eyes if they aren't closed already. And just breathe here. Letting go of today. Letting go of anything in your mind. Letting go of anything bothering you. Anything making you happy. Anything just sitting in your consciousness. Checking in with your body. Making sure you don't have any extra sore, stuck spots today. And if you do, being mindful of them. And raising our right hand, take your thumb onto your nostril, peace fingers on your forehead, ring finger in the air, and inhale through the left nostril. Close off that left nostril, release the right nostril, exhale through the, or sorry, inhale, whatever we're doing here, inhale through the right nostril. Nice big inhale, and then exhale here. Inhale one more time. Close off that nostril, release the left nostril, exhale out through the left. Inhaling here. Closing off your nostril, opening up the right, exhaling. Inhaling here. Placing the thumb back over the nostril, exhale out the left nostril. Inhale, nice, big, deep, cleansing breath. Close off that nostril, exhale out the right. Inhale here. Close off that nostril, release the left, exhale out. One more time, inhaling here. Closing off the nostril, releasing the right, exhaling. You can release your hand down, breathe normally. Switch the crossing of your legs so the opposite leg is on top. Flexing your foot if you need. Placing a block underneath if you'd like. Breathing here. Check in with your breath. See if anything is different after the Nadi Shodhana breathing. Check in with your sit bones. Make sure you're still pressing down into the mat. Check in with the back of your neck and your jaw. Make sure you're not holding any tension. See if you can just be here in this moment, in silence. Do not let your mind race or wander or think about anything else except sitting right here. And one last deep cleansing breath, inhaling here and exhaling. You can reverse the crossing of your legs again. So the original leg is on top, still in fire log, flexing that foot nice and tight. You can gently open your eyes, check in with your back, release any tension there. And we're going to take the opposite arm as leg and just put your hand in front of your shin and kind of lift up on your leg. And we'll take the same arm as leg and swoop it around and just kind of grab your knee here. You can take that first arm and come around underneath. So maybe you can interlace your hands here, or one hand on top of the other, or even kind of come in a little closer if you'd like. We're just going to kind of treat our shin like a baby. And from here, see if you can relax any tension. Maybe your bottom leg is tensed up. You want to just gently rock that knee back and forth. Maybe a little larger in your rocks, maybe a little longer. When you're ready, we're going to place that foot on the outside of our bent knees that's on the ground. So maybe you're kind of like rocked onto that other hip now. Try to place both sit bones onto the ground and still have this leg over top the other. Big screen, not allows you to see my legs. Take your bent knee and hug it into your chest. Inhale your arm up and see if you can hook that elbow onto the knee and twist to the back of the room. Inhaling your spine nice and long. Exhaling, twisting nice and deep. Inhaling, long spine. Exhaling, twisting. And then gently walking over around your knee for a nice little counter twist. You can leverage your elbow against your knee on this side if you'd like. Give yourself a nice little counter twist. And then gently walk back to the center. You can lift up your leg and swap the crossing, bringing the opposite leg on top for fire log pose. Flex that foot. Then we'll take opposite arm as foot, grab onto the shin, lift it up. Place your same elbow on the outside of your knee. Grab onto your leg. You can come up from underneath and kind of hold your leg if you'd like. Hands can be interlaced on top of each other. You can hug and in a little closer if you'd like. And releasing this bottom leg, any tension you may have, any gripping you're doing, and just rock back and forth, treating your shin like a baby. Check in with that spine. Maybe you pull your belly button towards the spine so you're not slouching. Maybe you elongate your rocks back and forth a little bit longer. And then when you're ready, we'll put that foot on the outside of the knee and hug the leg in nice and tight, the opposite arm. Same arm as leg, inhale that arm up in the air. And we'll twist, hooking the elbow back behind the knee and reach around to the back. Breathing, elongating that spine nice and long. Exhaling, twisting to the back. Breathing in, nice long spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale, long spine. Exhaling, twisting. Then you can walk your hands back for a nice little counter twist. Using that elbow to your knee for a nice bit of leverage if you'd like. Really get in there. And then we'll exhale back to the center. Release your legs. Maybe give your knees a couple shakeouts. And come into any pose you want. I'm sorry, any seated pose you want with your legs, any position you'd like. We'll just inhale the arms up above our head. Exhale, melt those shoulders down the spine. Inhale, reach with your fingertips nice and long. See if you can make the stretch come from the arm. Check in with your ribs. Make sure they're not popping out in either direction. Pulling them in, pulling that belly button towards the spine. Releasing any tension in your glutes. Exhale, fold forward. Don't have to fold very deep. You can round in your back. See if you can elongate that tailbone. Imagine you have a cat spine. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. And maybe on your next exhale, you fold a little bit deeper. Breathing in, elongating that spine. Dipping the chin down towards the chest. Exhaling, folding forward a little bit deeper. In your next inhale, you can walk your hands back slowly. So you're back in a seated pose. Take those hands onto your hips. Rotate the elbows back behind you so you're pressing your palms into the back. And inhale, lift that chin up, shine that chest forward. Imagine you're in a cow pose. Nice open cow spine. Breathing here, checking in with your glutes, releasing any tension. Release your chin back to your chest, release your hands down, give them a little shake. Inhale back up into the air. Exhale, melt those shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, reach with the fingertips. And on your next exhale, we'll stretch to the right, placing the right hand onto the mat, reaching over top with the left hand, shining that chest towards the ceiling. Make sure both sit bones are still pressing into the mat with equal pressure. And just breathe here. On your next inhale, we'll come back to the center. Check in with your arms again. Let those shoulder blades melt down the back. Let those fingers reach towards the sky. And then we'll exhale to the other side, placing that left hand down on the mat, reaching the right arm over top, pressing into the mat with both sit bones, shining that chest towards the ceiling. Breathing here. On your next inhale, you can come back to center. Reach one more time in the air with your arms. Let the shoulders melt down the back. And then you can release your arms down, give them a little bit of a shake out. Arms out to a T. Doesn't matter which arm's on top. We'll come into a nice big self-hug, wrapping your fingers around your shoulder blades, gripping them if you can. Inhaling here. Exhaling. Resisting the urge to be a dinosaur. Inhaling here. And exhaling. You can release your arms out to a T again. We'll do the same motion, crossing the opposite arm on top, reaching back for the shoulder blades, gripping onto the back. Breathing here. Opening the back of the shoulders and the outer arms. Releasing the arms out to a T again, give them a little shake out. Bring them down, inhaling the arms up. We'll bend the right elbow down. Left arm is in the air. We'll place the left hand on the right elbow. Press the elbow down your back. Checking in with the knees, relaxing them down. Option here to release your left hand and reach around behind you into the bind. Grabbing for your t-shirt or hand, whichever you can reach. Breathing here. Checking in with those ribs, making sure they didn't pop out, maybe pulling the belly button towards the spine a little bit. Opening up a little more in the chest, shining it towards the ceiling again. You can release that lower hand. You can release your bent arm. If your shoulder's a little twisty. Then we'll inhale the arms back up again. Bending that left hand down, pressing that right hand onto the left arm. Breathing here. Option to release that right hand into the bind, reaching for your hand or your t-shirt behind you. Checking in with your ribs, making sure they didn't pop out. Opening up in the chest as much as possible. And just breathing here. Knees are not holding any tension. Both sit bones are pressing into the mat with the same amount of pressure. On your next exhale, you can release the bottom arm, release your top arm, give your shoulders a little twist out. Maybe rotate them in both directions. We'll bring the arm into cartoon cactus arms. This is a stretch for the muscles in between your shoulder blades, your rhomboids. So if you're not feeling anything, maybe you don't sit at your computer all day, but if you are, maybe you do. If you want to feel a little bit deeper into the stretch, you can always take those elbows and kind of reach them back behind you and try to touch your elbows behind your back. Make sure your arms go with them. And just breathe here. Release your hands down, give your shoulders a little shake, your arms a little shake, and we'll come into tabletop with a neutral spine. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, the knees into the mat, pressing into both palms, all 10 fingertips. See if you can really press into the ground and make this passive pose feel active. All your muscles engaging, pushing back against the ground. Nice long spine. And we'll inhale the chest and hips into the air for cow pose. Exhale, pushing back, rounding in the back, pulling that belly button towards the spine for cat. Inhaling for cow. Exhaling for cat. Inhaling for cow. Exhaling for cat. Two more like that. Inhaling for cow, shining that chest forward. Exhaling for cat, rounding in the spine, pulling that belly button in. Inhaling for cow. Exhaling for cat. From here, you can continue this movement on your own, at your own breath. You can also start to add movements in like S and C curves in the spine. You can come back to a nice gentle child's pose, maybe come forward to a baby chaturanga. If you'd like to incorporate the toes into your cat pose, you can always tuck your toes under when you're rounding in the back and press the tops of the feet when you come into cow. Just warm up the spine, wake it up a little, get it ready to move. Maybe pause in any sore or stuck spots. And when you're ready, bring your toes together, putting your knees out a little bit wider, and press back into child's pose. Bringing your bottom towards your heels, relax your forehead down to the mat. And just breathe 3 breaths. Rounding in that spine, preparing for back bend. And then coming back into tabletop, adjust your knees so they're right underneath your hips. We'll inhale the left arm up for a twist. And exhale, thread that arm through, place the outer edge of the shoulder and face onto the mat. You can walk that bent arm up towards the top of the mat if you'd like. Check in with your hips, see if you can get them as square as possible here. Option to take the opposite leg as right leg back. And kind of like a big half tabletop, half plank pose. Opening up the hips into the air. Still keeping that foot on the ground though. Exhale your knee back to the mat. Walk that hand back to underneath your shoulder. Inhale that left arm up for a big twist. Exhale, place the hand back onto the mat. Other side. Inhaling that right arm into the air. Exhaling underneath, putting the outer edge of the shoulder and the face onto the mat. Walking that left hand up and towards the front of the mat. Check in with your sit bones, check in with your hips, see if they're still square, or as square as you can possibly make them. You can press the tops of the feet into the mat for stability. And if you'd like, you can extend your left leg back, foot on the mat, reaching backwards. Exhaling that knee back towards the mat. We can walk this hand back to underneath the shoulder. Inhaling that arm back up in the air for a twist. And exhale, come to a tabletop on your mat. Blah. Breathing here, nice neutral spine. Check in with your neck. Release any tension you may have. And we'll start by just taking the left leg back behind you. You can tuck your toes under. Give your calf a little stretch. And then we'll inhale the leg up parallel to the mat. Pressing the top of the right foot into the mat, reaching back with that left foot. Foot is flexed. Breathe here, check in with your hips. Make sure they're both still square to the mat. And if you're okay here, you can stay. If not, you can reach the opposite arm, right arm into the air, reaching forward with those fingertips back with your heel. Breathing here. If you're happy here, you can stay. If not, on your next exhale, we'll bend the knee and elbow, bring them together at the midline of the body. Exhale, elbow to knee. Breathe here. See if you can balance, holding those two in at the midpoint. You can bring your belly button towards the spine for a little more stability. Press into that foot that is on the mat. And on your next inhale, reach long again. One more time. Exhale, elbow to knee. And inhale long. Exhaling, placing the hand and knee back onto the mat. We'll inhale the right foot back behind you. You can tuck your toes, give yourself a little stretch back and forth. And when you're ready, you can inhale that foot parallel to the mat. Check in with your hips, make sure they're square. One's not rising above the other. Pressing into the top of that left foot into the mat. If you're happy here, you can stay. If not, lift that left arm into the air, reaching forward with your fingertips, reaching back with your heel. Breathing here. Exhale, round in the spine, bringing that elbow towards your knee. Staying here, breathing, balancing, pulling that belly button towards the spine, pressing into the top of the foot that is on the mat. And on your next inhale, reach long again. Reaching back with your heel, forward with your fingers. Exhale, fold in. Inhale long. Exhale your hand and knee back to the mat. Give yourself a little shake out in the neck. A little shake out in the bottom. And when you're ready, you can tuck your toes under and press your hips into the air for downward facing dog. Here you can pedal out your feet in down dog. Any pace you'd like. You can make that movement reach up into your hips, really exaggerating each pedal. Try to keep equal weight in your hands. And when you're ready to settle in, we'll inhale onto the ball of the feet, nice, big, long stretches. And then exhale, pull those heels down towards the mat. Heels don't have to touch the mat, just reaching for it. Check in with your neck here, nod your head yes, shake your head no. Make sure you're nice and relaxed. And when you're ready, we'll inhale the right leg into the air for three-legged dog. Reaching that leg up, back behind you. Nice and straight in the air. Bend that knee, pull the heel towards the bum, open up in the hips. Bring your hips back square, keep that knee bent. And on your next exhale, you can roll forward to plank, bringing that elbow towards, or knee towards the elbow. Inhaling back to three-legged dog, nice long leg. Exhale, place the right leg back onto the mat. Inhaling that left leg into the air. Nice long leg, three-legged dog. Lifting that heel as high as you can. Exhale, bend that knee, pull that heel towards your bum. Open your hips up. Breathing here. Exhale, close your hips nice and square with the mat, leaving that knee bent. Breathing here. And on your next exhale, reach that knee towards the elbow. Inhaling back up, three-legged dog. Nice long legs, lifting that heel up a little higher. Exhaling your foot back down to the mat. Go ahead and walk your fingertips back to your feet. And we'll meet in a forward fold at the back of your mat. Feet are hips width distance apart. You can check with two fists in between the ball of your feet. Knees can be bent as much as you'd like here. Check in with the back of your neck. Make sure you're not holding any tension. You can nod your head yes, you can shake your head no. And just breathe here. Maybe with every exhale, you fold a little bit deeper, micromillimeters at a time. This fold should be gentle. It should be calming. The difficult folds are yet to come. You can sway back and forth here. You can sway forward and back. Really feel all four corners of the feet. Both sides of the heel, both sides of the ball of the feet. Waking up the bottoms of the feet. From here, you can place your hands on your shins. Inhale your spine nice and long for a flat back. Breathing in your flat back, pausing for a moment. Checking in with the spine, making sure it's nice and long and straight. Maybe you pull back your hips a little bit in space, micromillimeters. And then we'll exhale to fold forward again. Options here to grab opposite elbows or interlace your hands behind your back. You can also take your 2 peace fingers around your big toes and exhale to bend your elbows and pull the top half of the body towards the bottom. If you have your elbows crossed, you could grab the opposite elbow, strange one on top. If you interlace your fingers and you'd like to switch the interlacing, you can put the weird thumb on top here. Otherwise, just relax. Exhale, pulling your trunk down, nice and low. Release your hands wherever they may be. Place your hands on your shins. Inhale for a nice long flat back. Breathing here. Pausing to check in with your spine. And slowly roll up the stand, nice and gently, placing vertebrae on top of vertebrae until you're in a mountain pose at the front of your mat. Breathing in mountain pose, pressing all 4 corners of the feet into the mat. Pulling that belly button towards the spine. Inhale your arms up here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands. We'll place the right leg back behind you so you're in a low lunge with the left leg in front. Check in with your low lunge, make sure it's nice and strong by lifting your hands off the mat. We'll drop that right knee back down to the mat, release your foot so that the top of the foot is pressed against the mat. Energetically see if you can pull this heel towards this knee and this knee towards this heel. Reaching in at the midline, pulling in for stability. From here, we'll inhale our hands above our head for Anjaneyasana, gazing at the thumbs for the gentle back bend. Breathing in Anjaneyasana. Pulling that heel towards that knee. Exhale your hands back down to the mat. Place the right hand on the mat, lift the left arm in the air for a nice gentle twist. Exhale the left hand back to the mat. We're going to do something a little different. Tuck those back toes under. And we're going to shift. Nope, don't do that yet. Bring your knee in. So tuck those back toes under and see if you can bring your knee in about 4 to 6 inches. Now, push those hips up into a runner's stretch. Check in with your neck. Make sure you're not holding any tension. See if you can locate both your hips in space. Are they even? Are they at a 90-degree angle with your legs, I guess? Are they on the same plane as the mat? If so, if not, see if you can pull one hip back or the other. Micromillimeters. When you're ready, you can kick that back leg, or that front leg up to the back, so you're in kind of a mini down dog. Pressing your hands and your feet into the mat here. Inhaling forward to mini plank. Press back into downward facing dog. You can step back, adjust your stance any way you'd like to come into chaturanga. So we'll do plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for low cobra. Exhale, gripping the mat with the fingers, pressing back through bent legs into downward facing dog. 3 breaths in down dog. On your next inhale, we'll inhale the right leg up in the air, 3-legged dog, nice long leg. Exhale, bend that knee, pull the heel towards the bum. Breathing here. Exhale, roll forward to plank, bring your foot in between your hands, help it if you need to. So now we're in a low lunge on the opposite side. Check in with your stance, adjust it any way you need to. You can check the strength and stability by lifting your arms up off the mat. We'll exhale that left knee down to the mat, release the toes, press the top of the foot into the mat. Press the left hand down, inhale the right arm up, reaching into the sky for a gentle twist. Exhale your hand back down to the mat. Tuck those back toes under. Bring your knee in about 4 to 6 inches. Put the strength into your hands. Maybe tent your fingers if you need to. If you can't press them against the mat, tent your fingers. And we'll press those hips back up into a runner's stretch. Adjust your stance any way you need to. Check in with those hips. Maybe you can pull one side back. Maybe you can pull both sides back. Check in with your neck. Make sure you're not holding any tension here. And just breathe. And when you're ready, you can bring this front leg to meet the back, so you're in your tiny little down dog. You can exhale forward to a tiny little plank. Inhale back to downward facing dog. Adjust your stance any way you need to. And we'll exhale forward to plank, dropping your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for low cobra. Exhaling, pressing back into downward facing dog. 3 breaths in down dog. Left leg lifts into the air, 3-legged dog, nice long leg. Exhale, bend that knee, pull the heel towards the bum. Inhale here. On your next exhale, sweep that foot forward in between your legs. Help it if you need to. And we'll exhale the back leg to meet the front. Forward fold. Hands on hips. Nice long flat back. Exhaling forward fold. Inhaling, rolling up to stand, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. Breathing here, shake it out. Get a drink of water. All right. Standing in mountain pose at the front of your mat, feeling all four corners of the feet pressing down. Inhaling our arms up above the head. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, hands on your shins, nice long flat back. Exhaling, folding forward. Placing your hands on the mat, sending that right leg back behind you, low lunge. Drop the back knee down. Release the toes. Inhale up for Anjaneyasana. Exhale your hands back down to the mat. Tuck your back toes under and come into a runner's stretch. On your next inhale, bend that front knee. Adjust your back foot any way you need to so you're in your low lunge now. And we'll inhale up for a high lunge. Exhale your hands to heart center. Fold forward again. Woo! See if I can do this. And hook your elbow around your knee for a low lunge twist. Pressing your hands against each other, your elbow against your knee. Fall out of it, come back in, no big deal. On your next inhale, bring your chest back up in the air, hands to heart center. In your low lunge, shift that back heel down at a 45-degree angle and lift your arms in the air for warrior one. Exhale your hands back behind your back, interlacing your hands behind you. Exhaling, folding forward, coming into humble warrior. Bringing that chest towards your knee. Inhaling back up, releasing your hands into warrior one. Exhaling, bringing your hands back to the mat. Take this front leg and kick it back to the back so you're in a downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for low cobra. Exhale, pressing back into downward facing dog. Breathing here in down dog. On your next inhale, we'll bring the right leg into the air, three-legged dog, nice long leg. Exhale, bend that knee, pull the heel towards the bum. Inhale here. And on your next exhale, bring that foot forward in between your hands, help it if you need to. So now we're in a low lunge on the opposite side. Bend that knee, release it to the ground, release the top of your foot down. Inhaling up for Anjaneyasana. Exhaling, placing the hands back to the mat. Adjust your foot if you'd like, or leave it as is, coming into a long runner stretch. Bend that front knee so you're in your low lunge. And we'll inhale our arms up for a high lunge. Exhale, hands to heart center. Fold forward, high Duke. Exhale, hook that elbow around the knee. I'll try not to fall on my dog. Pressing your hands together for leverage and come into a low lunge twist. Inhaling, hands back to center, chest up. Rotate that back heel down so it's at a 45-degree angle. Front knee is bent. And we'll inhale up to warrior one. Exhale your hands back behind you, interlace them back behind your back. Breathe in here, and on your exhale, fold forward, bring your chest to your knee for humble warrior. Inhaling back up into the air, release your arms into warrior one. Exhale your hands back to the mat. Right leg comes back to meet the left, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in down dog here. On your next inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, drop your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra. And exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Inhaling your left leg into the air, 3-legged dog. Exhaling, bending that knee, pulling the heel towards the bum. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your foot in between your hands for a low lunge. On your next exhale, kick that back leg up to meet the front. Forward fold. Placing your hands on your shins, inhaling up for a nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale, roll up to stand. Okay, or A's. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Standing in mountain pose at the front of your mat. Feet are pressing down. Inhale your arms up. Check in with those shoulder blades. Exhale, melt them down the back. Inhale, reach up into the air. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands. Send that right foot back behind you so you're in a low lunge. From here, we'll rotate that back heel down and inhale your arms up for warrior one. Breathing here in warrior one. Exhale your hands back behind you. Interlace those fingers back behind your back. And then exhale, fold forward for humble warrior. Inhale your chest back up. Release your hands back into the air. And we'll exhale, rotate out into warrior two. Nice strong arms in warrior two. Front leg is bent. Make sure your toe is not leaning too far in or too far out. It's tracking right over that second toe. Outer edge of the back foot is glued to the mat. Arms are reaching out in either direction. Gaze can be over the front hand. We'll swoop that palm up to the sky in the front. Reach forward and then come back for humble warrior. I'm sorry, reverse warrior. And give that knee a rest. Straighten it out. Bring your arms into warrior two arms. Reach forward as far as you possibly can and drop down for triangle pose. Breathing here. Trying to find length in both sides of the side body. And when you're ready, inhale back up to warrior two arms. We're gonna do something weird. Take your back arm and rotate it so it's your front arm. Nice big twist in the body, and we'll come down to triangle again. This time opposite hand as foot is down. We're reaching back into the air with the other arm. Then we'll inhale back up, rotate back to normal arms, bend that front knee, and we'll come into a side angle pose. Pressing the forearm onto the thigh, reaching the other arm over top. You can shine that chest towards the sky, and just breathe here. And from here, we'll just start rotating the body, walking the fingers to the mat, coming into a wide-legged forward fold, lengthwise on your mat. Checking in with your neck here, making sure you're folding forward without holding any tension in your neck. See if you can elongate that tailbone. And if you'd like to fold a little deeper, you can always walk your fingers back behind you. Walk your fingers back to the front. Maybe come up on fingertips so you can come into a flat back here. Wide-legged, flat back. Then we'll exhale, fold forward, and walk back to the same leg as before. Front leg, left leg. And then walking your fingers so you're in a low lunge towards the front of your mat. From here, we'll kick this left leg back to meet the right, so you're in a plank, or we'll push back into downward facing dog first. Then we'll roll forward to plank, lower your knees, chest and chin. Inhaling for low cobra. Exhaling, pressing back into downward facing dog. And on your next inhale, lift the right leg into the air, three-legged dog, nice long leg. Exhale, bend that knee, pull the heel towards the bum. Breathe in here. And on your next exhale, we'll sweep the foot forward in between the hands. Help it if you need. So we're in a low lunge on the opposite foot. From here, we'll rotate that back heel down. Inhale up for warrior one. Breathing here in warrior one. Your next exhale, reach your hands back behind you, interlace your hands, shining that chest towards the ceiling. We'll exhale, fold forward for humble warrior. Inhaling back up, releasing those arms back into the air. Then open them up for warrior two on the other side. Nice, long, strong arms. Front knee is bent. Back leg is glued to the mat. Gaze can be over the front fingers. Pop the palm up to the sky, reach forward, scoop back some air for reverse warrior. Make sure your knee is still bent. Make sure you're not dumping any weight in this back arm. We'll give that knee a rest, come back into warrior two arms, reach forward and down for triangle pose. Inhaling back up to warrior two arms. Rotate so the opposite arm's in front and come back down into a rotated triangle. Reaching in the air with their opposite arm. Just a couple breaths here. Inhale back up, rotate back over. Can bend that front knee and we'll come into side angle pose. Forearm on thigh. Opposite arm reaching over top, shining that chest towards the sky. Breathing here. When you're ready, we'll walk the fingertips around, rotate the feet. So we're in another wide-legged forward fold, facing the side of your mat. Breathing here. You can walk your fingertips back behind you if you'd like. Your hands forward, so you can come into a wide-legged flat back. You can come up on your fingertips if needed. Nice long spine. Exhaling, folding forward. And on your next inhale, you can walk your fingers around. Bend that right knee again, so you're in a low lunge on the right side. From here, you can kick that right leg back to meet the left leg, pushing back into downward facing dog. Inhaling, rolling forward to plank. Exhaling, lowering those knees, chest and chin. Inhaling for low cobra and pressing back through bent knees into downward facing dog. Breathing here. And your next inhale, lift that left leg in the air, three-legged dog, nice long leg. Exhale, bend your knee and bring it forward in between your hands. On your next exhale, kick that back leg up to meet the front, forward fold at the front of your mat. Hands on shins, inhaling, nice long flat back. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, rolling up to stand. Whew. Nice. All right, shake it out, get a drink. We'll go into standing poses. Uh-oh. Duke, who's home? Duke. Oh, Duke's deaf. There's gonna be some chaos in there. Who's home? Garrett's home. Garrett's home. Okay. All right, standing in mountain pose. Pressing all four corners of the feet into the mat. We'll start with pressing that right leg in. You can lift your heel to your ankle to kickstand it. You can press your foot against your calf, or you can press your heel into your inner thigh and your inner thigh into your heel, wherever you feel comfortable. I only ask that you don't put your foot on your knee. Hands can be at heart center on your hips or blowing in the breeze like branches. Breathing here. If you fall out, no big deal, come back in. And when you've had enough of that, you can take the same hand as leg, release your foot from your body, but bring your knee forward. Straighten out that leg as much as possible. Lift that heel a little higher, and then let it go. Shake out your standing leg. Give those muscles a nice little breather. And we'll press into that left leg, pressing into all four corners of the feet. Ankle can be kickstanded against the heel. Foot can be against the calf or pressing that heel into the inner thigh into the heel. Hands can be heart center on your hips or blowing in the wind, whichever you prefer. And just breathe here in balance. And when you're ready, you can take the same hand as ankle, release it from your leg, bring that knee forward, kick that heel out into the air, lift it a little higher, and then let it go. Go ahead and shake out your legs. Placing that left foot into the ground, lift that right leg into the air. We're gonna cross the ankle. Make sure you flex your foot, cross that ankle over your thigh. You're gonna start to bend your standing leg. While you bend your leg, you can fold the front half of your body forward. Hands can be at heart center or any place you find stability. If you're happy here, stay. If not, you can always, with each exhale, maybe lower your bum a little bit, maybe fold your body a little bit forward. Maybe bring your elbows down to rest on your shins. And just breathe here. And on your next inhale, you can come up to stand, release your leg down, release your hands, give yourself a little shake out. Pressing that left leg into the ground, bringing that right ankle on top of the thigh, flex that foot. Hands to heart center, lower that bum and fold your body forward. Bend your knee on your standing leg. And if you'd like, you can always come to rest your elbows on your shin. If you'd like to place your hands on the ground for stability, no worries. And on your next inhale, roll up the stand, release your legs, release your hands. And we'll come into mountain pose at the front of your mat. Inhaling those arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, folding forward, planting your hands, stepping both feet back into downward facing dog. Inhaling that right leg into the air, three-legged dog, lifting that heel up as high as possible. Exhale, bend your knee and sweep that shin forward to come into pigeon pose. Back leg is nice and long. You can come up onto your fingertips if you'd like. Exhaling, rolling forward, placing your forehead on the mat or a block or your hands, whichever you prefer. On your next inhale, you can walk your fingers back, tuck those back toes under, press into the mat with your hands, and come on back into three-legged dog. Exhaling the right leg onto the mat. Inhale the left leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, sweeping that chin forward, releasing that back leg long. Exhaling down into pigeon pose. Forehead can come to the mat or your hands or a block, whichever you prefer. On your next inhale, you can walk your back, your fingers up, arch your back again, tuck those back toes under, press into your hands, and come into a three-legged dog. Exhaling that foot back down to the mat. One last time to get in a chaturanga. You can roll forward to plank, lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for low cobra. Exhaling, pressing back into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, roll forward to plank, and then exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Rolling onto your back. Placing your feet on your mat, knock your knees in together, and just gently windshield wiper your legs back and forth. See if you can feel those edges of your hips that you just woke up in pigeon. And when you're ready, you can hug those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock back and forth. And when you're ready to come to stillness, you can extend those legs into the air. Flex your feet like you're stepping on the ceiling. Option to bring your hands behind your thighs, behind your calves, whichever you'd like, to pull the legs up. This is just a simple inversion. If you're not happy with this, you can always come into supported shoulder stand. And support yourself in your low back instead, pulling the belly button towards the thigh, but continuing to flex the feet and feeling like you're standing on the ceiling. Option also, if you're near a wall, legs up the wall is a great inversion. Just pressing against the wall while you're relaxing your legs. Hug those knees back into your chest. Release the feet onto the mat. We'll come into bridge pose. Go ahead and graze your heels with your fingertips. Imagine you have a block in between your knees. And your next inhale will lift the hips into the air. You can wiggle your shoulders back behind you. You can interlace your hands behind you. Whatever you'd like to do. To press up into the hips. Open up the back. Breathing here. Release your hands, release your shoulders, roll your back down to the mat. Windshield wiper your knees back and forth again. And when you're ready to come to stillness, we'll take the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Flex that right foot, lift that left leg in the air, interlace your hands behind your thigh, and pull your legs towards your chest. Option here to press out against the right knee with the right elbow. Pulling in on the left side, pushing out on the right side. If you're not feeling anything, option to rock back and forth and see if you can find maybe a more stuck or sore spot. You can linger there for a moment. Just breathing. And when you're ready, you can come back to center. Release your hands, release your legs. Opposite ankle on opposite thigh, lifting that into the air. Lace your hands through that right thigh. Option to push out against the left knee with your left elbow. Keeping both feet flexed to protect those joints. And if you'd like, you can always rock back and forth, trying to find a spot that's maybe a little bit more stiff or a little more stuck. Lingering there if you'd like. And when you're ready, come back to center, release your legs, release your hands. Windshield wiper your legs back and forth again. And we'll hug those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock back and forth. And when you're ready, drop your knees to one side and come into a twist. Hands can be out like a T. You can have cartoon cactus arms. You can place your hand on your knee to help with the stretch, but 2 shoulders and 1 hip should be on the mat. Breathing here. And when you're ready, you can hug your knees back into your chest again. And exhale back down to the other side. Arms can be in a T. Hands can be on knees to help to stretch. You can have your hands in a cartoon cactus, however you'd like. But 2 shoulders and 1 hip should be on the mat. Your next inhale, bring your knees back to center. You can get in any last minute poses you'd like. You can always come into a happy baby and grab the interior of your feet, pulling those knees towards your armpits, gently rocking back and forth. When you're ready, release everything down and set yourself up for a nice, comfortable Shavasana. Make sure nothing's touching you or distracting you. And settle in for a well-deserved rest. You can bring your awareness back to your breath. You can start to introduce small movements in your fingers and toes. When you're ready, you can roll onto one side using your arm as a pillow. And lay in the fetal position for one full breath. And when you're ready, using that same slow quality of movement, you can come up to a seat. Bring your hands to heart center and we'll close with one Om. Inhaling for Om. Namaste.